I faked my own death. And my best friend of 8 years responded with 4 words. 4 words. Stay until the end, because what I found out will shock you. Hi, my name is Maya, and before you judge me for what I'm about to tell you, just hear me out, because I promise by the end of this story, you'll understand exactly why I did what I did. And trust me, what I found out will shock you just as much as it shocked me. I was 17 years old, and I had everything a girl my age could want. A tight friend group, a boyfriend named Caleb, a loving mom, and a best friend since 3rd grade named Priya. On the outside, my life looked perfect. But on the inside, I felt completely invisible, like I could disappear one day and nobody would even notice. It started small. I'd cancel plans and nobody would text to check on me. I'd post something personal online and get 0 reactions. One time, I stayed home sick for 3 days, and not a single friend called. Not one. Even Caleb, my boyfriend of 8 months, only found out when he randomly saw me at the pharmacy. He didn't even ask how I was feeling. He just said hey and walked off with his friends. That was the moment something shifted inside me. I started asking myself a question that I couldn't shake. If I were gone tomorrow, who would actually care? I know what you're thinking. Maya, that's dramatic. But when you feel invisible for long enough, that question stops feeling dramatic and starts feeling very, very real. So I made a plan. And yes, looking back, it was absolutely insane. But I was 17 and heartbroken and desperate for the truth. I decided to fake my own death. Now, before you panic, I want to be very clear. Nobody was actually hurt. No emergency services were involved. I didn't fake an accident or anything dangerous. What I did was this. I created a fake account online. Then I sent private messages to my closest people, Priya, Caleb, my friend group, and even some family members, pretending to be a distant cousin named Lily. The message said that Maya had been in a serious accident and hadn't made it. I kept it vague enough to be believable, but not so dramatic that it would cause a full crisis. Then I turned off my phone, went to stay at my aunt's house 2 towns over, and I waited. Within the first hour, Priya responded to Lily's message. And I want you to pay close attention to what she said. She wrote, "Oh, that's so sad. I hope her family is okay." That's it. 8 years of friendship. 8 years of sleepovers, secrets and promises. And that was all she had to say. "Oh, that's so sad." I stared at that message for a long time. I felt something crack open in my chest. Then came Caleb's response. And I genuinely thought my boyfriend would be devastated. We had been together for 8 months. I had met his family. He had told me he loved me. So when the notification came through, I held my breath and opened it. He replied with a sad face emoji. 1 emoji. And then he asked Lily if she knew whether Maya had any of his hoodies at her place. I put my phone face down on the bed and just sat there in silence. I didn't even cry at first. I just felt completely numb, because sometimes the truth doesn't make you sad right away. Sometimes it just empties you out. But then something unexpected happened. Something I hadn't prepared myself for at all. My mom called my aunt's house phone. She was screaming and crying and completely falling apart. She had somehow seen a comment online about the message going around, and she'd been calling my phone for 2 hours straight. My aunt tried to calm her down, but my mom was inconsolable. She kept saying my baby, over and over. I could hear her from across the room. That was the moment I completely broke down. I grabbed the phone and told her it was me. I told her I was okay. I told her everything. She went silent for a very long time, and then she started crying all over again, but differently this time. Relieved crying. The kind of crying that only a mother can do. She drove to my aunt's house that same night, and when she walked through that door and hugged me, I felt more love in that single moment than I had felt in months, maybe years. But we weren't done yet, because I still had Priya and Caleb to deal with. When I came back home 2 days later, I didn't say a word to either of them right away. I waited. I wanted to see how long it would take for them to reach out, to check in, to wonder where I had been. Priya texted me 4 days later, not to ask if I was okay, not because she had heard about the fake message. She texted me to ask if I could help her study for an exam. 4 days. Not a single word about my so-called death. Not a single question about where I had been. I realized then that Priya had never actually been my friend. She had just been someone who found me useful. I didn't respond to her message. I never responded to any of her messages again. Caleb found out I was alive when he saw me at school. He had the nerve to walk up to me, like nothing had happened, and ask why I had been ignoring him. I looked him straight in the eyes and said I needed to know if you would miss me if I was gone. He stared at me, confused. And I said, yeah, that's what I thought, and I walked away. I know some people might think what I did was wrong. Maybe it was, but I learned something that I could not have learned any other way. I learned who was actually in my corner. And more importantly, I learned that I had been so focused on the people who didn't care that I had completely overlooked the one person who loved me more than anyone in the world. My mum. After everything that happened, she and I became closer than we had ever been. She started checking on me every single day. Not because I faked anything, but because she finally understood that I had been struggling and I had never told her. And I finally understood that sometimes the family you already have is worth more than any friend group in the world. I'm 19 now. I have a small circle of real friends who actually show up. I don't talk to Priya anymore. I don't talk to Caleb. And honestly, I have never felt less invisible in my life. So if you're watching this and you feel like nobody would notice if you disappeared, I see you. And I promise it's not everyone. Sometimes you just have to clear out the wrong people to finally see the right ones. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe, because next time, the story gets even wilder.